In the year 2002, Google walked into Yahoo's headquarters and offered to sell itself for $1 billion. Yahoo said no. That single decision, made in a boardroom in Sunnyvale, California, by people who genuinely believed they were making the right call, is one of the most catastrophic mistakes in the history of business. But here is the thing that nobody tells you. That was not the decision that destroyed Yahoo. Not even close. There is a moment buried deep in Yahoo's history, a specific day, a specific choice, made years before Google ever knocked on their door, that set everything in motion. A moment so quietly devastating that most business schools still don't teach it. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what that moment was. And when you hear it, you will understand why Yahoo was never going to survive, no matter what it did after. But to understand the fall, you have to understand just how total the rise was. It is 1995. The internet is barely a year old to most people. There are no algorithms, no feeds, no search bars. If you wanted to find something online, you had to already know where it was. The web was a wilderness, vast, expanding, and completely unnavigable. And then two Stanford PhD students named Jerry Yang and David Philo built a directory. A simple, hand-curated list of websites organized into categories: sports, news, entertainment, finance. They called it yet another hierarchical officious oracle. Yahoo. It sounds almost laughably simple today, but in 1995 it was a revelation. Yahoo did not just help you find things on the internet. Yahoo was the internet for most people. It was the front door, the homepage, the place you started every single session online. By 1998, Yahoo had 167 million users. 167 million people opening their browser and seeing Yahoo first. By 2000, its market capitalization had reached $125 billion. That is not a typo. $125 billion for a company that was 5 years old. Jerry Yang and David Philo were celebrated as visionaries. Time magazine, Forbes covers, keynote stages at every major tech conference on the planet. They had not just built a company, they had built the gateway to the modern world. And then, quietly, invisibly, the trap began to close. Here is the first thing you need to understand about Yahoo's collapse. It did not happen because Yahoo stopped growing. Yahoo kept growing for years after the warning signs appeared. It did not happen because Yahoo ran out of money. Yahoo had enormous cash reserves. It did not even happen because Google outbuilt them, though that came later. Yahoo failed because of an identity crisis so deep, so structural, and so invisible to the people inside the company that by the time anyone understood what was happening, it was already irreversible. Was Yahoo a media company, or was it a technology company? This question sounds almost philosophical. It was not. It was existential. Because the answer determined everything. How the company hired, how it prioritized products, how it made decisions, and ultimately, what it was willing to become. In the early days, Yahoo's leadership answered that question clearly. Yahoo was a technology company. It built tools. It organized the web. It solved problems with engineering. But sometime around 1999 and 2000, something shifted. Yahoo started acquiring media properties. It hired television executives. It brought in Hollywood producers. It began to think of itself less as a platform and more as a broadcaster. A place where people came to consume content, not a place where technology made their lives easier. Professor Aswath Damodaran of NYU, Stern School of Business, one of the most respected voices in corporate valuation, has written extensively about what he calls the identity trap. The moment a company stops knowing what it is and starts trying to be everything to everyone. He describes it as the single most reliable predictor of long-term corporate failure. Not competition, not technology, identity confusion. Yahoo walked into that trap in the early 2000s and never walked out. While Yahoo was busy deciding whether it was CNN or Google, a 24-year-old named Larry Page and his Stanford classmate Sergey Brin were obsessing over a single problem. How do you rank web pages by relevance? Not by keywords, not by categories. By the actual weight of connections between them. They called it pagerank. And it was so obviously, brutally superior to everything Yahoo was doing that the gap was visible almost immediately to anyone paying close attention. Yahoo was not paying close attention. In 1998, Yahoo had the chance to acquire Google for under $1 million. They passed. In 2002, Google came back with the billion-dollar offer. Yahoo passed again. Internally, the reasoning was that Yahoo did not need Google's technology because it was building its own search. The search it was building was called Yahoo Search. It was, by almost every technical measure, inferior. But the executives did not know that, because the people making the decision were no longer engineers. They were media executives. And media executives do not evaluate search algorithms. They evaluate audiences. This is where the story takes a turn that almost nobody talks about. In 2003, Yahoo actually acquired Overture Services, the company that had pioneered paid search advertising, the very model that Google would perfect and use to generate billions of dollars a year. Yahoo had the blueprint. Yahoo had the technology. Yahoo had the audience. Yahoo had every single ingredient needed to dominate the search advertising market that was about to become the most valuable advertising market in human history. And it still lost. Why? Because acquiring a technology is not the same as understanding it. The executives who ran Yahoo did not deeply believe in search. They believed in portals. They believed in content. They believed that people came to Yahoo to be entertained and informed, not to find things and leave. Every product decision, every resource allocation, every hire reflected that belief. Meanwhile, Google believed in one thing. The faster we help you find what you want and get you out of here, the more you will trust us and come back. Simplicity over spectacle, speed over stickiness, technology over content. Before I continue, hit that subscribe button. Behind the Tech uncovers these hidden corporate stories every week, and the next one will change how you see the companies you think are untouchable. Haven't said that, let's dive back in. By 2006, Yahoo's search market share was collapsing. Google had pulled so far ahead that the gap was no longer measurable in percentage points. It was measurable in culture. Google had become a verb. Nobody said, "I'll Yahoo it." In 2008, Microsoft came calling with a takeover offer of $44.6 billion. $44.6 billion, cash, for Yahoo. The board, led by co-founder Jerry Yang, rejected it. The reasoning, again, was that Yahoo was worth more than Microsoft was offering. That Yahoo's future value would exceed the present offer. It would not. The Microsoft offer was the moment, the single hinge point in Yahoo's later history where everything could have changed. Professor Michael Roberto of Bryant University, who studies corporate decision-making failures, has called the Microsoft rejection one of the clearest examples of what behavioral economists call loss aversion overriding rational calculation. The board was so focused on what they might lose by selling that they could not see what they were already losing by staying independent. Within 3 years of rejecting Microsoft's offer, Yahoo's market value had fallen by more than $30 billion. And now, here is the moment you have been waiting for. The decision buried at the beginning of this story. The one that set everything in motion before Google, before Microsoft, before any of it. In 2000, at the absolute peak of Yahoo's power, the company's board made a hiring decision. They brought in a new CEO, not an engineer, not a technologist, a media executive named Terry Semel, who had spent decades running Warner Brothers studios. Terry Semel was, by all accounts, a brilliant media executive. He understood Hollywood. He understood content deals. He understood how to run a broadcaster. What he did not understand, what nobody around him fully understood, was that Yahoo was not a broadcaster. It was a search engine pretending to be one. Under Semel's leadership from 2001 to 2007, Yahoo doubled down on content. It signed expensive deals with sports leagues and entertainment studios. It built out news, finance, and entertainment verticals. It hired journalists and producers. It became, in many respects, a genuinely impressive media property, and it fell further behind Google every single quarter. Because while Yahoo was competing with ESPN and CNN, Google was building AdWords, building Gmail, building Google Maps, building Android. Google was compounding its technology advantage every day. Yahoo was standing still, dressed in someone else's clothes, wondering why it was losing a race it no longer understood it was running. When Semmel resigned in 2007, Yahoo had already lost the decade. The string of CEOs that followed, Jerry Yang returning briefly, Carol Bartz, Scott Thompson, Marissa Mayer, each inherited a company whose foundational identity crisis had never been resolved. Marissa Mayer, brought in from Google in 2012 with enormous fanfare, spent 4 years and billions of dollars trying to rebuild Yahoo's technology credibility. She acquired Tumblr for $1.1 billion. She redesigned products. She hired engineers. But you cannot rebuild the foundation of a house while people are still living in it. In 2016, Verizon acquired Yahoo's core internet business for $4.48 billion. The same company that had been worth $125 billion at its peak. A decline of over 96% in real value. Here is what the story of Yahoo actually teaches you. Technology companies do not die because a competitor builds something better. They die because they stop believing in what made them powerful in the first place. Yahoo stopped believing it was a technology company. And the moment it did, it began to die. Slowly, invisibly, years before the numbers made it obvious. The engineers who built the directory in 1995 understood something that the executives who ran the boardroom in 2001 had forgotten. The internet is not a place people come to be entertained. It is a tool people use to find things, and whoever builds the best tool wins. Right now, there are companies sitting at the top of their industries making the exact same identity mistake Yahoo made, believing they are something they are not, hiring for the company they want to be instead of defending the company they are. The warning signs are always subtle. The collapse is always sudden. And the moment they stop knowing what they are, the clock starts ticking. Click on this video right here, how BlackBerry conquered the world and then destroyed itself, and discover how the exact same identity crisis that broke Yahoo played out inside the most powerful smartphone company on the planet. The pattern is identical. The ending is the same. I'll see you there.